Yeah. I made an M off a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit a buy, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor. Good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but that might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our Fantasy Draft NBA DFS picks for Tuesday, February 25th. It's a 7-game slate with quite a few good plays. I do think there's a lot of really interesting plays in that mid-tier range on all sites. So it's going to be an interesting day. Could be a high-scoring night with so many players in a good spot. First things first, thank you for all your support. I truly do appreciate you all making me a part of your day every day. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the team. Cheers to you all. Grab a coffee and Bailey's as I'm doing early this morning, and hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you're so inclined to do so. Get access to all of our content, NBA, XFL, etc., NFL when NFL's out, MLB some, maybe this year, WNBA, we'll see. Lots of stuff. So hit that subscribe button. I appreciate that. Also, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment in the comment section, you qualify for our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. And you can also qualify for our weekly Friday giveaway here by Fantasy Draft. Just comment with your Fantasy Draft username. And on Friday, we do a draw and give away some entries into some NBA contests. All you have to do, comment with your Fantasy Draft username. If you do not yet have a Fantasy Draft account, absolutely free to create one. Go to fantasydraft.com, enter promo code DFS Bachelor, then come on in and title of your sex tape, there you go, and comment with that, and boom, you qualify. For those of you who are new, Fantasy Draft is rake-free DFS. What that means is every dollar of your entry fee goes directly back into the prize pool. Which is not how they do it on other sites. They take what they call a rake, something off the top. They skim the top. So what that means, when all of your entry fees are going to the prize pool, you have a better chance at winning. And when you do win, you win more. It's that simple. Fantasy Draft, it's a lot of fun. You'll also note here the salary caps are double that of DraftKings. So a player at, say, $6,000 on Fantasy Draft, that's a minimum salary, would be the equivalent of $3,000 on DraftKings. As usual, I do a quick Fast 5 core that I think could be successful tonight. I do have one super cheap player that I'm going to take a chance on, allow myself to pay up for some other players. I do think there's a ton of good options tonight. Lots of ways you can go. And especially this time of year, I mean, we saw it last night with Russell Westbrook. The NBA is going to be crazy. There's going to be players like Juan Toscano Anderson playing tons of minutes. And you're like, who the hell is that? Some kid from Marquette 6 years ago. There's going to be lots of rest and tanking and etc. You have Milwaukee on a back-to-back. They've already clinched a playoff berth. They're most likely going to rest players, but we just don't know. This is a tough time of the year, so it's important to pay attention to the news, everything that's going on. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. As soon as I know, it's up there. It's a long stream throughout the day of information that we get. There's lots of tweets up there, so it behooves you to scroll through, read, really be up to date on what's going on. And even if you are, you could still get burned by Russell Westbrook, especially if you're, locked into a contest that's already locked. So it is important to keep an eye on all of that stuff. So let's start here right at the top with our value play. I like Avery Bradley against New Orleans. He's $6K on Fantasy Draft. That's the equivalent of minimum salary $3K on DraftKings. Against guards in Fantasy Draft scoring, New Orleans is 25th. Overall, against shooting guards, they're 14th. Avery Bradley, look, he's a boomer bust guy. If you look at his last 5 games, he's got a 35 and a 30. He's also got a couple of games in the teens. The bottom line is, in a paced-up game against a bad New Orleans defense at home, he's going to play close to 30 minutes or more. All the opportunities there at minimum salary, I'll take a shot, and if he gets me 20 or 25, I'm going to be stoked because it allows me to pay up everywhere else. So it's definitely a tournament risk, but one I'm willing to take. I think Avery Bradley at minimum salary is just a chance I am willing to take. Next, and one of the best matchups of the day, I like De'Aaron Fox. He's 13-7 on Fantasy Draft, so that's the equivalent of about 6,700 on DraftKings. Well, we are getting him and today on DraftKings, he's 7-6. So we're getting a nice price. Golden State In terms of defense against guards on fantasy draft, they are ninth. But overall, against point guards, they do allow the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing point guards. He has a 42 and a 38 in his last 2 games against Golden State. He's got legit 50, 60-point upside. I like the price. I like the matchup. I like the opportunity for De'Aaron Fox. And I think that's the equivalent of 68.50 on fantasy draft. It's early. I'm getting old. I used to be really good at math. What happened? That's what she said. Anyways, De'Aaron Fox in a good spot against Golden State tonight. Next, revenge narrative, of course. Anthony Davis against his old LA team. Now, Anthony Davis, look, anytime you play Anthony Davis, there is concern that that window licker will be headed to the locker room. He's always day-to-day. He's always probable. There's always something wrong. But he is listed probable. Today it's his calf. In his first 2 games against his former team with the Lakers this year, he's put up a 61 and a 73. You're getting him for $18,000 on fantasy draft, the equivalent of $9K on DraftKings. Just for your reference, he's $10,300 today on DraftKings. Anthony Davis in way too good of a spot. In terms of fantasy draft scoring against forwards/centers, New Orleans is 28th in the league, allowing the 3rd most fantasy draft points to forwards/centers. Overall, they're 25th against opposing power forwards. It's a great matchup. The revenge narrative at home, it's paced up. I like Anthony Davis, and that price is absolutely too cheap. It's just way too cheap. Sign me up for some Anthony Davis. We're getting him at that Joel Embiid price that we talked about yesterday. Way too cheap for Embiid. Boom. There it was. Who it was not way too cheap for is that window licker, Giannis. Thanks a lot, Giannis. Oh, unbelievable. Anyways, I digress. Next, another player that I'm willing to pay up for in a smoking matchup is Nikola Jokic. He's 17-7 on fantasy draft, so we're getting him for like 8,800. Today on DraftKings, he's 10K, so you're getting a great deal for Jokic. Against forward/centers, Detroit is 19th. Remember, no Andre Drummond there, so they're starting Thon Maker and Doumbia. They don't even, like sometimes Dwayne Casey doesn't even start Christian Wood. It's just going to be a wacky, horrible rotation for Detroit. So there is some worry about the blowout, of course. But Jokic, his last time out against Detroit, all he did was put up 81 DraftKings points. He has a huge, huge advantage tonight. Detroit's 19th against opposing centers. They're 19th against forward/centers on fantasy draft. Love that price. AD and Jokic, big upside. I think they're both underpriced. And finally, a player that I honestly do hate playing with a passion, but he's got one of the best matchups, if not the best matchup on paper tonight. We have Myles Turner against Charlotte. He's 9,700 on fantasy draft, so you're getting him for about 4,800 on DraftKings. Charlotte is 23rd against forward/centers in terms of fantasy draft scoring. And overall this year, no team in the league, not even Brooklyn, is allowing more fantasy points to opposing centers than the Charlotte Hornets. In his last 4 games against Charlotte, a 38, a 43, a 42, and a 35. This is a matchup that he thrives in. They're at home, no Victor Oladipo. It's a paced down game. It's going to be ugly and be done in the inside. Sabonis, Myles Turner, both great plays. No Jeremy Lamb as well. He had season-ending surgery, so there is some value for the Pacers there against a bad Charlotte team. Love the price for Myles Turner, and I love the matchup for Myles Turner. So if we go with that core 5 of Bradley, Fox, Davis, Jokic, Turner, that leaves you $11,633 per player. Plenty of salary to fill out your roster. If you're uncomfortable with Avery Bradley, you can go a more balanced approach. There's a lot of guys in that 10K range in here who are in a good spot. Jordan Poole, Kobe White, Damian Lee, Will Barton's there at 10.6. I mean, there are some really nice prices. PJ Washington at 10K, Josh Hart, Malik Monk, Eric Paschal. Lots of guys here in that spot. So if you want to go more balanced, it makes total sense as well. Cody Zeller at 8.7. Lots of ways you can go. Be sure to try Fantasy Draft. Comment with your Fantasy Draft username. Be part of that drawing. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Be part of our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. We announce that winner every Monday. I believe this is going to be my only video for the day. I have some stuff to do, and I'm feeling a little bit beat up. Cheers to you all. Thank you all so much for watching. Good luck to you tonight. May the fantasy gods be with you. We'll see you tomorrow for both of our NBA videos. XFL will be out in the next couple of days as well. Thank you all again so much. Goodbye, folks.